Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello there. Can you hear me?
Yes, Anna.
Am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Where are the others?
මැඩම් මෙයාට මං ගෲප් එකේ මේ මැසේජ් එකක් දාන්නම්.
Hello.
මැඩම් ගෲප් එකේ මැසේජ් එකක් දැම්මා. මේ
Ah,
එයාලා බලලා ජොයින් වෙයි.
hari. අපි පටන් ගමු නේද?
ඔව් මැඩම්.
Ah, in your group, how many students?
මැඩම් මේ පටන් ගද්දී 13ක් හිටියා. දැන් අපේ රිසර්ච් එක පටන් අරන් තියෙන්නේ. එතනදී
Uh-huh.
නම් 8 දෙනෙක්ගේ තමයි නම් තිබුණේ.
Ah.
අපි අර
දැන්
දෙකක්
10
කැන්වස්
දෙනෙක්
වෙන එකක්
වගේද?
තියෙනවා. 8ක් වගේ තමයි ඉන්නේ දැන්.
8ක් වගේ. දැන් මට පොඩ්ඩක් විස්තර දැනගන්න. මේ දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ෆස්ට් සෙමිස්ටර්ද යන්නේ සෙකන්ඩ් සෙමිස්ටර්ද?
මැඩම් අපේ සෙකන්ඩ් එක යන්නේ දැන්.
සෙකන්ඩ් එක නේද?
සෙකන්ඩ් එකෙත් මැඩම් සබ්ජෙක්ට්
ආ
දෙකක් ඉවරයි. අන්තිම දෙක.
good. දැන් රිසර්ච් එකත් ඔයගොල්ලෝ කරනවද?
මැඩම් රිසර්ච් එකට අපි ටොපික්ස් දුන්නා. මේ ඒක
ආහා
පටන් ගන්න තමයි තියෙන්නේ. දැන් අපේ ගෲප් එකක් වෙනම හදලා තියෙනවා. ඒකේ
ආහා
වෙනම රිසර්ච් එක යනවා කිව්වා.
හරි. දැන් ඔයා ගැන චුට්ටක් can you introduce yourself?
මම ආශිංජය.
හ්ම්
මම දැනට මේ දිඹුලාකල කලාපේ තමයි වැඩ කරන්නේ. සෙවන පිටියේ.
හ්ම්
5
හ්ම්
years වැඩ කරනවා දැන්. ICT තමයි මගේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක.
you're working in a school?
Yes madam.
Ah,
සෙවන පිටියේ
government
මහාවිද්‍යාලය
school?
දිඹුලාකල. Yes yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay. And there's the other one, Atula.
මැඩම් මම
Please.
මේ
Yeah.
මග ඉන්න මැඩම් මේ පොඩි ගමනක් යන ගමන් ඒ වුණාට මම ලෙක්චර් එකට මම සහභාගී වෙනවා.
Ah,
මම හංගුරංගිත කලාප අධ්‍යාපන කාර්යාලයේ ක්‍රීඩා අධ්‍යක්ෂ විදිහට වැඩ කරනවා මැඩම්.
ha. Yeah, good. Another one has joined. Yeah, the other one, De Silva. Could you please introduce yourself? Prashadi, could you please introduce yourself?
Good morning, madam.
Good morning. Could you
මම
please introduce?
මම ප්‍රශාදී
Mm.
මම ටීචර් කෙනෙක්.
හ්ම්.
ම්ම්, මගේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක සිංහල.
ආහා.
මගේ ගම ගාල්ල.
Gall. Government school. You are working in a government school or a private sector?
ගවර්මන්ට් ස්කූල්.
Government schools. Okay. Uh, I didn't introduce myself even. You know my name. So this is our first lesson. That's why we don't know each other. That's the reason. Okay. I think you have done you all have done the diploma in education, isn't it? You have done.
මැඩම් PGD ගැන දහන්නේ.
Oh, PGD ගැන.
මැඩම් මම නම් PGD කරලා නෑ බට් මම මේ විද්‍යාපීඨ ප්‍රත්වීම.
හරි. දැන් මං කරද්දී මොකක් හරි තේරුම් නැත්තම් යම්කිසි දෙයක් තේරුම් නැත්තම් ඔගොල්ලෝ මේ කිසිම මේකක් හැසිටේට් ගන්න නැතුව අහන්න පුළුවන්. හරි. අපි කතා බහ කරමින් ඒක ගෙනියමු. එතකොට තමයි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට යමක් ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. හරිද? නැත්තම් මං විතරක් කතා කර කර හිටියොත් එකෙන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන දේ අඩු වෙනවා. හරිද? Okay. Shall we start the lesson?
Yes madam.
Okay. Have a nice day. Good morning to you all. I'm going to share the link. Okay. Okay. The subject is measurement and evaluation. I know you all have a background knowledge of measurement and evaluation. Neither. You have already learned something. Learn about measurement and evaluation. Isn't it? Hello?
මැඩම්
Hello?
විද්‍යාපීඨ මේ
Yeah.
measurement and evaluation subject එක තිබුණා චුට්ටක් අමතකයි.
Yeah. කමන්න අපි අද කරමු. එතකොට measurement and evaluation මොකක්ද ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයගලන්ට measurement and evaluation කියද්දි මතක් වෙන්නේ? What do you remember? What comes to your mind? What comes to your mind when you hear measurement and evaluation? The word or a concept? Huh?
ළමයාගේ
Free to speak.
දක්ෂතාවය
ළමයෙක්ගේ ගුණාත්මක භාවය පිළිබඳව මැනීමක් සිද්ධ කරන්නේ ඒ දෙන් සාමාන්‍ය ඇගීමක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ විභාගික ප්‍රතිඵලයක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ දේවල් මැනීමක් සිද්ධ කරන්නේ ඒ ඔස්සේ.
Yeah. Excuse me, could you please raise your volume little bit? I can't hear clearly. Could you please? Okay. You have heard the word or a term or a concept, measurement and evaluation. Good. The Prasadi gave her answer. There she mentioned something about the measurement and evaluation. Let's see. Okay, today is the first lesson and we are going to do measurement. Two topics we are going to cover today in the first lesson. That is, the first one is measurement in education, and the second topic is educational objectives. do you, do you have the syllabus with you?
No, madam.
No. In the syllabus, these topics have been given. So according to your syllabus, we have to do our lessons, lectures. So today we are going to cover the first one and the second one. Okay, in the picture, you can see something. Images or objectives. Now link with measurement and speak. Link the term measurement with this image and speak. Say something. You can say what comes to your mind. Don't bother whether it is correct or wrong. There's no correct or wrong answer. Right? Just we are going to discuss. So be free to speak. Yes?
There is a thermometer, so
Yeah.
we can measure temperature with it.
Yeah, very good. We use thermometer to measure temperature. Yes, good. What else? Yes?
There is a measuring tape, so we
Yeah.
can use it to measure distance.
Yeah, very good. We can use it to measure the distance. Yeah, good. What else? There's another one. Very familiar with us from our childhood. Yes, Prasadi? Prasadi? Hello? Prasadi?
Yes, madam.
Ah, there's one from our childhood, we know. Not the
Is
lab
it a voltmeter, madam?
instruments. Huh?
Voltmeter.
Yeah, voltmeter is there.
Voltmeter.
That is a lab instrument. Normally, nowadays we have in our house also. But there's another one. Because of
1
some reasons,
kilogram.
I'm asking like this. Huh? What's this? Can
කිලෝග්‍රෑම්
you?
එක
Yeah.
බරකටයක් නේද?
1 kilogram. Isn't it? It
Yes,
says, you can read there 1 kilogram. Yeah. Now, see, let's see what's measurement. Right? Measurement කියන්නේ symbolic process. Symbols තියෙනවා. Symbolic process. We use symbols. Here, see, 1 kilogram. Kilogram. It's a symbol. There's a thermometer. There we use what? Fahrenheit, Celsius, like that. Right? Symbolic numbers or scores. Now, when we are going to come to education, later I will explain. Just look at this. And the meaning of, measurement. What is measurement? If somebody asks, it gives the answer to the question, how much? How much your weight? How much the distance? Right? Or to what extent? කොච්චර in Sinhala, how do you say? කොච්චර ප්‍රමාණයක්ද? Right? How much? Or to what extent? Normally, in our day-to-day life, we use this term, measurement. Let's see. Yeah, what happened? Right? Now we are in the master's level, so we should know the definition of measurement. According to Campbell, he says measurement is the assigning of numerals or objects or even according to rules. Right? Numerals, numbers, like that. Measurement, according to Stevens, measurement is the process of assigning numbers to objects according to certain agreed upon rules. Certain rules. සමහර rules වලට අනුව assigning numbers. We use numbers to the objects. Right? මේක education විතරක් නෙවෙයි. Not only for the education. Overall, we can say this definition gives us an idea about the measurement in overall. Here see measurement. This side is everyday life we use the ruler. We use, for measure the distance. The other side, you can see evaluation. Like, what does it bring to your mind? Evaluation. If we connect with our teaching career, evaluation. That word, what does it bring to your mind? Evaluation, what's the Sinhala term? Yes? Do you know? Evaluation? Prashadi?
ඇගයීමද?
Again. Yeah. So in our education field, we don't, for normally we may performance, we talk about the performance of students. We talk about the achievements of students. Not only we talk, we measure. That's why we give test to them, assessment to them, how much they have learned, how much they can do, how much they have gained the knowledge, how much they have gained skills. And ඒ වගේ, what we do? The knowledge or the attitude or the interest or the performance level of students or the achievement level of students, to measure what we use. Huh? What we use in the classroom, what we use. How know the student has understood what we have taught?
We asking questions.
Yeah, we asking questions. What else? At the end of the term, what we give?
We give term tests.
Term test. Yeah, at the end of the 11 years of education, what we give them?
We give national level examination.
Yeah, national level. Like that, evaluation. We measure them. We say he got 9 A's. He got 9 B's. Oh, he failed the exam. Like that we talk. So that's our evaluation we do. Right, let's move. Okay, now here see what's they are doing. What's they are doing?
Measuring something.
Measuring something. Now you can see in the second picture, upper picture, how much? They measure 8 centimeter. He or she measures 8 centimeters. Right? Here, 8 means a number and centimeter means a symbol, a unit. Right? Here, he or she uses a tape to measure. The tape is the instrument. In order to measure, we need an instrument. Yeah, okay. After we measure, we quantify it. Quantify, numbering. 8. What is 8? Is it a meter? It is a kilometer or a centimeter or a millimeter? According to this tape, the measurement, it is 8 centimeter. So here, there's a number and there's a unit. How do we get it? Through an instrument. We used an instrument. Got it? Like that, in our education, in our classroom practice, we use instruments to measure our students' knowledge, attitude, skills. What's that instrument? What's the instrument we use? Here, we can't, if we want to measure our weight, we can directly measure our weight. If we want to measure our height, we can directly measure our height. Can we measure a child knowledge like that? Can we?
No,
Can
madam.
we? Huh? Yeah?
We cannot,
Can
madam.
we? Cannot. Then what we have to do? What do we want to do? Yes? What we want to do? We can't use a measurement, measuring scale or measuring tape or whatever the instrument. We can't use to measure our students or our children's knowledge level. Then what we have to use? But we measure. Now, earlier you talk about it. What we measure? How do we measure? Hmm? For that, we use assessment and tests, evaluations. We have so many tools. Normally, we use test. Test is a tool, instrument to measure students' knowledge level or attitude level. Okay, a practical test is an instrument to measure students' skills. Right? We use assessment. You said we ask questions. That is assessment. Asking a question. Informally, we ask questions. Then students answer. Then what we do? We collect data from our students. Sometimes we use formative assessment or summative assessment. Do you know what is formative assessment? Do you know? What is formative assessment?
It means end of the lesson or end of the term when we give to
Yeah,
students.
during the lesson, before the lesson. In the new curriculum, also we talk about the assessment. 70% of the marks will be given for students through the assessments. Evaluation, then what's evaluation? At the end of the learning, at the end of the term, at the end of the semester, we give students to a test or whatever the practical test or whatever. Then we measure at the end, right? That according to the new curriculum, 30% of the marks will be given to students through the evaluation. That means the tests, right? Measurement means then you have to know quantifying students' performance, right? That means we say for the chemistry, I say I got 80 marks, right? Here 80 is a quantifying. We quantifying students' knowledge into a number. 80, 60, 30, like that. What's that? It's a score number. 80 marks, like that. Right? Then through the assessment, what we do is analyzing and we try to find students' strengths and weaknesses. As you said, we ask questions during the teaching. Through there, we try to understand whether the students understood or not. Right? Evaluation, then first way we talk about after the O-level results, A-level results, we talk about. Right? So the connection between these two terms, you can see in the picture. In the image, you can see the connection among them. Right? If you don't understand, please ask me. Don't hesitate to ask. ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න. තේරුම් නැත්නම් ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න. ඔයගලන් වෙනුවෙන් තමයි මම මෙතනට ඉන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයගලන් කොයි දුරට අන්ඩර්ස්ටෑන්ඩ් කරනවද ඒ තරම තමයි මගේ සක්සස් එක තියෙන්නේ මෙතන. පාඩමේ සක්සස් එක. So you can talk with me. Right? Be free. Right. Then assessment, we have taught the intention, the interconnection between these three help us to improve the lessons. Right? Okay, here see, measuring how well schools perform is a key to improve learning. කොච්චරක් දුරට අපි හරියට measure කරනවද? ඒකෙන් තමයි depend වෙන්නේ ළමයින්ගේ learning එක. If we could not be able to measure student, in other terms, assess or evaluate the students properly, then we will not be able to help them to improve their learning. So in order to improve students' learning, we have to support them, help them to help, and we have to assess and we have to evaluate and we have to measure them properly. Through that, we gather data and it helps us to create successful policies. If we take, type of measurement, if we consider there are two types of measurements are there, right? One is physical, other one is mental. In the earlier picture, I asked this one. Here, you can see the instrument. We directly, through the measuring tape, we can directly measure the distance, but, right? Mental measurement. What is the example for mental assessment? Physical assessment, we use instrument, we can touch, we directly or indirectly we measure. For the mental instrument, what do we use? What do we use? For that, we use assessments and what else? Evaluation or a test or something. That's why we say physical quantities we measure directly. Height, weight, age of the child, like that. But the intelligence, abilities, can we measure with an instrument? We use there what? A test or assessment. Whatever the tool we give to student, that is the instrument that is identified as the instrument to measure mental what? Measurement. Right? They are complex. Do you think we can measure exactly the knowledge of a student? Likewise, we measure the distance. As we measure the distance using a tape, can we measure exactly, or can we say exactly the knowledge of students? Can we?
No, madam.
No, we can't. No? Even when we measure, sometimes the question paper we give, if there are 10 questions, there are maybe some questions are easier questions, some are hard, but in the tape, see the measurements 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, like that. They have the equal parts, equal value of the parts. But in our question paper, in our test paper, our questions are not as same as the other one. Some are easy, some are hard, some are moderate. Right? So, if we discuss the function of measurement in instruction, that means we use it to diagnose students' strengths and weaknesses. We identify through, if we give a paper or a presentation or a group discussion or whatever, if we do, then we can identify students' strengths and weaknesses. What are their difficulties, like that, where they are struggling, like that. And we can give them individual support where they need. Further, we can monitor their learning process when we use assessment, formative assessment during the teaching learning process. As you said, we ask questions, we observe the students. Sometimes we give exercise, some problems to the answers, short answers to the write the answers. There we can identify whether they are in the correct track. Then we can adjust our teaching based on the results. Timely we can go, when you ask a question, the students gives a wrong answer, then you can correct it at the point there. Right? So you can monitor students' process. And at the end, as I said, summative assessment, for an example, or a test paper, we can evaluate students' learning, evaluate whether they have learned after 3 months, what they have learned, after my teaching, what they have learned. Right? We assign. Like that, we can motivate the students' learning. If the students get high marks, they are motivated. right? When we give assignments and the other type of assessment regularly, when the students do it and get feedback, they are motivated. So function of measurement, again, guiding, it also gives us a message or whatever. The marks of the students. I have 30 students in my classroom and I give a test to them and maths paper I give them. Then unfortunately, 20 students got below 40 marks. Then I understood there's a problem. Where the problem? The problem may be in my teaching. So I can shape up my teaching, modify my teaching. It also helped me to improve my teaching. Art of teaching, pedagogy, like that. We place them. And sometimes we used to selections, first, second, third, like that. Even when we have some programs, we select students like that. Even for the, job opportunities, they give, competitive exams. Based on that, they select. In some time, certification, after or the A level student get certificate, like that. Or again, the annual report cards of the students also give some kind of a message to the parents and the teachers. So, instrumental functions focus on students learning and immediate teaching decisions. At the same time, administrative function addresses broader organization. If you take the school throughout after the end of the year test or a term test, the zonal office asks us analyze the students' marks and find out the students who are below 40 and arrange some or do some remedial actions to them, like that, administrative side. So we have talked about that topic. Now we move another topic, that is planning and constructing test paper. If you want to, plan. Now we want to measure students' knowledge or what they have learned. We should know, we should identify. For that, what's the instrument we use here? The test paper or assessment paper or whatever. That is the instrument we use, right? We quantify students' knowledge. Through the test paper, we quantify students' knowledge to number. He got 100 marks. Wow, he's a brilliant boy. We say like that. He's very smart. He got 30 marks. He's weak in maths. 30. The marks is 30. Based on that, we say our instrument is the test paper. So, in order to construct the proper, very proper, we have to say, earlier we said, if normally you think, if the weighing machine is our scale is not correctly show our weight, what will happen? Huh? What will happen? What will get? What we will get? if the weighing machine is has broken or something. It doesn't give us the proper what is the measurement. Then what will we get? Yes. If say a girl is 70 kilograms of weight, her weight is 70 kilogram, but the weighing machine shows as 60. Then the girl will be so happy. But the reality, in reality, she's not 60, she's 70. Like that, the instrument we use to measure the students should measure students' knowledge, attitude, or skills properly. In order to that, we have to construct a proper classroom test papers. So, first step is we have to determine the purpose. Whether we are going for the diagnostic purpose, we are going to identify, like diagnostic, you can, the term is very familiar to you when you go to the doctor. If you are sick, we go to the doctor, then he say, I want to diagnose what you have. So go and take these reports and come. I want to diagnose. So like that, a formative. You know what is formative and you know what is summative. So we have to decide. We have to identify students' learning objectives. Later we will talk about the learning objective. We have to identify correct learning objects. Then the third step, we have to prepare a test specification table. I will show you what is a specification table. Here, this is the specification table. I mean, content area, you put in one column, you arrange the content area or a unit or a subunits, and for the other columns, you assess the knowledge, comprehension, applications, like that you measure. When you see this table, you can understand what is the specification table. So in the third step, we make it. In the fourth step, we select appropriate item types. We are going to prepare a test. I'm going to give a term test or a unit test. After finishing a unit, I'm going to give a unit test. Okay, that is my purpose. Then I want to decide what type of questions I am going to give. Whether essay type questions, structured questions, or a multiple choice questions. That should be decided, right? Then we have to match with the object. In the fifth, we have decided, so, okay, I'm going to give the short answers. Then I have to write the questions. After that, I have to decide for 1 hour, if I give it to 1 hour, how many questions I should include in that paper. What type of questions I should include. I have to arrange them. If students take the question paper and when they read the very first question, if it is very difficult question, students will got upset. So normally the first question we write it with easiest questions. Easiest මොකක්ද කියන්නේ?  පහසුවෙන් ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන්. නිකන් මතක ශක්තියෙන් ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන්. අන්න ඒ වගේ ප්‍රශ්න තමයි මුලින්ම අපි දෙන්නේ ළමයින්ට. ඇයි ඒ? එතකොට තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ මොටිවේට් වෙන්නේ නේද? මම දන්නවා මේක උත්තරේ කියලා ළමයා ලියනවා. එතකොට එයාගේ මේ ඉන්ට්‍රස්ට් එකක් එනවා. අනිත් ක්වෙස්චන් එකටත් එයා යනවා. very first question එකම හරියම මේ සංකීර්ණ ප්‍රශ්නයක් දුන්නොත් ළමයා එතනම down psychologically. So after that we have to review and refine. ඊට පස්සේ අපි කියව we have to refine. Right? මේම table එකක් අපි හදා ගන්න ඕනේ. We have to make a table like this. That's why I tell. This table also, yes, you can see here they have properly arranged this one. I mean, remember. But here 20% of the questions have taken from remembering what the students can remember through the memorization. 20% of the questions have constructed to assess or measure understanding of students. The other 20%, whether they can apply the knowledge like that. In this side, they have the topics. So, if we take functions and relations, which questions measure functions and relations? The first question, second question, third question, and the fourth question. Right? Like that. It gives us a clear idea. Now, let's see do you understand? I'm talking. Do you understand? Hello?
Yes, madam.
Hello? Yeah, do you understand? තේරුම් නැත්තම් මේ අහන්න. තේරුම් නැත්තම් අහන්න. නිශ්ශබ්දව ඉන්න
Clear,
එපා.
madam.
Okay. So we are going to use essay test. I mean, we use normally essay type of questions. In the part 2 paper, we use essay type of questions and structured questions like that. So the characteristics and use of essay test, we say, you know, what is an essay test? Throughout our experience, we ask the students to discuss the following topics. Explain this. Criticize this within the inverted commas. We say, you justify this. Analyze this. Elaborate this. Compare and contrast it. මේකට මේ මොකද්ද? Provide reason. Yes or no? We ask a question. I can say yes or no. 50-50. Then the second question is, could you justify your answer? Or could you provide the reasons for your answer? Then I have to give. If I have understood only, I can explain or give reasons like that. That's no, we know, no? That's no. In the structured, the space is given. For the essay type, we don't have such a type. And we can they will just guide us, but we can we can use our creativity there. There is no, but when we correct them, it's very subjective in nature. Why we say it's subjective in nature? Now let's say you write an essay, right? The teacher A correct and give 10 marks out of 20. Then your paper, a teacher B correct your paper and she gives you 15 marks out of 20. It can be happen. That's why we say subjective. But in the MCQ, if A correct or B correct, the same marks will be given. You will get the same marks. Right? So, essay type, we have two type of essay type. Test, extended response, that means essay, open-ended questions, and restricted response essays mean limited scopes and length, that is the structured type of questions. What is the advantage of the questions, essay type of question? We can use to measure complex cognitive process. Synthesis, later we will discuss about them. And we can evaluate students' writing skills, communication skill. Isn't it difficult to guess and correct the answers? We can encourage to study for understanding rather than memorizing. Through the memorizing, students can't answer for the essay type of question. They should understand, as I earlier said. So, limitation, the disadvantages of the time consuming. If we want to write an essay, it consumes time. Subjective, as I said earlier. Limited content sampling due to time restrictions. No? And difficult to compare across. If we write a answer for the essay question, today I write the answer for the same essay question, and tomorrow also I answer the same question. I write the answer. Then when we compare my two answers, there will be difference. So those are the limitations of the essay type question. Uses, as we said, we can compare and construct. Here see a question given, compare and contrast democratic and authoritarian governments, evaluating the strengths and weaknesses of each system. So the answer is very complicated. That quality of the question. Test paper, when we talk about the quality of the test paper, validity. We have to talk about the validity. Validity means, does the test measure what is supposed to measure? Do you understand? What the test measure, what is supposed to measure? Then test එකක් අපි දෙන්නේ මොනව මනින්නද? මොනව එසස් කරන්නද? ඒක එසස් කරන්න පුළුවන් විදිහට ප්‍රශ්නයක් අපි අහන්න ඕනේ. වෙන ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහුවොත් ඒකට හරි උත්තරය අපිට හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. So, the validity. That's what the validity. The validity can be divided into 4 types. Content validity. හරිද? අර content එක. Equally, does the test adequately, අර specification table, when we do the table, we have to cover all the units. If we prepare a term test for a year-end exam, we have to cover all the topics, all the units. We can't give more questions on a particular unit like that. The construct validity means we have to measure index, what we intend to measure. And criterion related validity means, do scores predict or relate to external criteria whether we can use. Face validity, does it appear appropriate to examiners and users. අරක ළමයින්ට පහසු ක්‍රමයට තියෙනවාද? ළමයින්ට ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් 10 ළමයෙකුට 11 පේපර් එකක් දෙන්න බෑනේ අපිට. ඒ ළමයාගේ දැනුම මනින්න ඒ ළමයා ඉගෙන ගත්ත දේෙන් තමයි අපි දෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම. right? Example of a validity issue, history test with 80% reading comprehension requirements. එතකොට අපි එහෙම දෙනකොට අපි කොහොම easy questions දෙන්නත් බෑ. Through the by memorizing. So some students have the ability to memorize. So they memorize everything. Then they write. So we have to be very careful in preparing, constructing lesson. The second one is validity, then the reliability. Reliability කියන්නේ are the tests consistent? ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් අපි මම දැන් කලින් කිව්වා වගේ දැන් අද පේපර් එකක් දෙනවා ළමයාට tomorrow also give the same paper to the same student set of student. Do we get the similar scores? දැන් අද දෙනවා ළමයාට ඒ පේපර් එක ඒ කියන ළමයාට අද දෙනවා අපි පේපර් එකක් ඒ ළමයාට එතනින් එනවා එයා ස්කෝර් කරනවා 60 marks. හෙට ඒ පේපර් එකම දෙනවා ඒ කියන ළමයාට ඒ ළමයා එකට උත්තර ලියනවා. එතකොට ඒ ළමයාට හම්බෙන්නේ එදාට 60 marks. Sorry, 30 marks. එහෙම වෙන්න බෑ. 30 න 60 න 55 70 60 62 එහෙම අර සාපේක්ෂව වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ deviation ගොඩාක් නැතුව. Right? That's what. The do different rates assign similar scores. That's what the raters. ඒ කියන්නේ එකම ළමයාගේ question paper එක A කියන ටීචර් එකත් correct කරනවා B කියන ටීචර් උත් correct කරනවා. දෙන්නම correct කරනකොට same marks එනවාද? Are scores consistent across the forms? Factors affecting reliability කියන එකට බලනකොට length එක, the questions length, the answer length, if there's the item quality ඒවා බලපානවලු. For an example, two teachers grading the same essay should award similar marks. If the marks are different, there's something in problem with the reliability. ඒක අපිට මොකක්ද කියන්නේ සිංහලෙන්? විශ්වාස කරන්න බෑ ඒ පේපර් එක අපිට. Objectivity. The other qualities. The degree to which scoring is free from subjective. Earlier I said, if we give a essay question, the A කියන teacher correct කරනවා, B කියන teacher correct කරනවා. එතකොට දෙන්නගේ ලකුණු දෙන්නම දෙන්න ලකුණු වෙනස්. වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. 1 2 3 4. හැබැයි මාර ඩීවියේෂන් එකක් වෙන්න බෑ ඒතර. එතකොට objective නෑ. Subjectivity වෙනවා. Right? MCQ is objective. Essay type of questions are subjective. Clear, ambiguous item and scoring criteria. Clear questions තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Criteria තියෙන්න ඕනේ. That's why in the new curriculum, rubric. You have heard the term rubric. Now, we are familiar with the term. In the new curriculum, grade 6, we are going to use rubric with the criteria, niyamaka. Why? If I correct it and give a marks, you also correct and give a marks. The 2 marks should not vary. That's why we use rubric. Have you followed the new curriculum reform, seminars? Have you?
Yes, madam.
You know about it, no? So, multiple choice questions are highly objective. කවුරු කරත් multiple choice එකම answer එකේ ඉන්නේ උත්තරේ ඉන්නේ උත්තරේ එකයි. But the open-ended questions explain, elaborate, discuss. They are open-ended questions. Low objectivity. එතකොට මේවා අතර මේ balance වෙන්න ඕනේ ප්‍රශ්න අතර. එකම වර්ග ප්‍රශ්න විතරක් දෙන්න බෑ. Usability and predictability අනිත් එක. ඒ කියන්නේ is the test practical to use? එක practicalද? අපිට කරන්න practically කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? question එකක්. ඔත්තම hard questions අපිට හදන්න පුළුවන්. 5 hours 6 hours නම් මගේ දරුවන්ට දෙනවා කියලා ප්‍රශ්න පත්‍රයක් හදන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක practicalද? Are scoring procedures efficient? අපි දැන් criteria ලියනවා නම් efficient වෙන්න ඕනේ. Is it cost time and materials reasonable? Are the results interpretable and useful? So, can the test be completed in the available class time? 40 minutes period. Now we can't talk about the 40-minute period. We have started to do the new, 45 minutes we have started to teach. So, within the 45 minutes, can students answer these questions? Within the 3 hours, can students answer these questions? That's predictability and usability. So, the other one is the fairness. That means, is the test equitable for all the students? And if we have 30 students in the classroom, if some are, pets, so maybe in the classroom, each and everyone is different. Not maybe, that's the reality. All are not equal. Individual differences are there. Some can do quickly, some need some more support. Like that. Average, low, average, high. Like that, the mixed group. So, the fairness should be in the low one also should be able to answer at least some questions. The middle one also should be able to answer, and the topper ones, higher ones also, they also be able to answer. They can answer, but should be tough questions are there to them. All the students are in the classroom, then we should consider all the students, not only the clever ones, and construct the test paper, or the lower achievers and construct the paper. Then it is not fair. That's what. So, those are the quality of a good, essay type of questions. Qualities of essay type of questions. Right? Do you understand?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, good. Now let's move. We have now, earlier we talked about the measurement, evaluation, and assessment. Then we construct a paper. After that, we discuss about the quality of the paper. Now we have constructed, and now we are going to administer the paper to the students, right? After that, we get the students' scores, marks, and we do some tests and check whether the paper I constructed, the test paper I constructed is a quality paper. We are going to test, right? For that, we do item analysis. So, item analysis is a systematic evaluation of test questions based on students' responses used to identify effective and problematic items and improve test quality. Test quality එක වැඩි කරන්න තමයි අපි item analysis කරන්නේ. Item analysis is the act of analyzing students' responses to individual exam questions with the intention of evaluating exam quality. So, we are going to now examine each and every question. Item කියන්නේ question එකට තව නම. Each and every. Sorry, the exam so item analysis, it's useful. Through that we can discover how well individual test items or questions assess what students have learned. That why is a particular question as difficult, complex, or very hard as it should be. ඒක අපිට මනින්න පුළුවන් මේ ටෙස්ට් වලින්. Does the item do good job of separating students who know the content from those who guess the right answer? සමහරු ඉන්නවා මේ හරියටම ආන්සර් එක දැනගෙන ලියනවා. සමහරු guess කර 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 ලියනවා. මේක එන්න පුළුවන් කියගෙන. We have to distinguish these two type of students. Or apply test-taking strategies to eliminate the wrong answers. කටපාඩම් කරගෙන ඇවිල්ලා ලියන කට්ටිය. We should identify which item should be eliminated or revised from the sequence administered. So we construct when you do the research also, you do like that questionnaires and test papers you prepare. After that, you are not going to directly administer them to your sample. First, you have to do a pilot test. I mean, a limited number of students. ආගේ sample එක දැන් research එකේ 100 කියමුකෝ. First මේක ඔයා construct කරලා ඒක දෙන්න. ඊට කලින් ඔයා මේ ළමයි 15ක් හරි 25ක් හරි 30 ළමයි 30ක් හරි අරගෙන ඔයා construct කරපු questionnaire හරි test paper හරි දෙනවා. දෙනවා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ උත්තරය අරගෙන ඔයා මේ test ටික කරනවා. කරලා මේකට හරි අර මේක reliable, මේක validity, මේ question paper එක validity එහෙම කියන මේ test එකෙන් අපිට හොයා ගන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම හොයාගත්තට පස්සේ තමයි අපි අපේ sample එකට දෙන්න ඕනේ. නැත්නම් හරි තොරතුරු අපිට ලබා ගන්න බෑ. collect කර ගන්න බෑ. right? ඒ විදිහම තමයි ළමයින්ටත් අපි exam paper එකක් construct මේ exam paper එකක් මාර පළාත් වලින් කලාප වලින් එහෙම අහන්නේ. Can you construct a exam paper tomorrow morning? Can you give me? Call එක එනවා රෑ 10ට. No, okay. I will prepare and give you. අන්න පොත ගත්තා අන්න හොය අරේ මෙහෙන් ප්‍රශ්න ටිකක් දැම්ම හදුවා අන්න WhatsApp කර. See quality paper. No. පවුනේ අපි ළමයි. So, in order to that, we have to do item difficulty කියලා ටෙස්ට් එකක් කරන්න ඕනේ. හරි? තව ටෙස්ට් එකක් තියෙනවා item discrimination කියලා D index කියන ටෙස්ට් එකක් තියෙනවා. තව එකක් තියෙනවා distract analysis කියලා test 3 type of test we have for the item analysis, whether they are reliable, value, practicable, fairness, like that, to test like. So they are like this, another one also should come. The item analysis focus on now we are item how many get it right. If we take a question, how many get the question right? එක තමයි item difficulty එකෙන් බලන්නේ. And the item discrimination කියන්නේ how well it separate high and low performers. ගොඩාක් low performers එන්නත් බෑ. ගොඩාක් high performance ලා එන්නත් බෑ. හරි? Which is used to ensure test fairness, reliability, and validity using data from students' response to refined exams and instructions. අපි බලමු කොහොමද කරන්නේ කියලා. මේවා මහා ලොකු දේවල් නෙවෙයි, චූටි දේවල්. අර words තමයි ලොකු මහා බය කරන words තියෙන්නේ. Right? Example එකක් අපි අරගෙන බලමු. Here we have a test or assessment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 questions are there in that my paper that has contained many items. I mean, in this paper, 7 items, let's say. Item means another name for the question. The item analysis can be used to determine how each question performs within the test and potentially weak items for review. මේ ටෙස්ට් එක කරලා තියෙනවා. First one is okay, second one is okay, third one is okay, fourth one is okay, sixth one also okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Montessori ළමයි වගේ නේද? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sixth one is very weak. Weak item. ගැලපෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ ළමයි සෙට් එකට ගැලපෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක කොහොමද හොයාගත්තේ? මේ ටෙස්ට් එක කරලා. Now let's do the test. Item difficulty index key. We say p-value. We have to find the p-value. How do we find the p-value? Okay. P means percentage of students who answered an item correctly. A question correctly. ඒක p-value එක හොයාගන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා බැලුවොත් number of students answering correctly. That means අපේ first question කියලා ගමුකෝ අපි ප්‍රශ්න පත්‍රයේ තියෙන first question එක අපි ගත්තා. ඒකට number of students answering correctly. කී දෙනෙක්ද හරියටම උත්තරේ දුන්නේ එකට? දැන් මගේ පන්තියේ 50ක් ඉන්නවා නම් 50න් කී දෙනෙක්ද හරියටම හරි උත්තරේ දුන්නේ? ඒක divide කරනවා total number of students. මගේ පන්ති කාමරේ ඉන්න ළමයින්ගේ. හරිද? දැන් 30ක් හරියට උත්තර දෙනවා නම් මගේ පන්තියේ 50 ඉන්නේ. එහෙනම් 30 බෙදන්න divide කරන්න ඕනේ 50 වලින්. එතකොට අපිට හම්බ වෙනවා 50-50 නම් ඔක්කොමලා හරි. මගේ ප්‍රශ්නෙට පළවෙනි ප්‍රශ්නෙට ළමයි ඔක්කොම හරියටම උත්තරේ දුන්නා. එතකොට කී දෙන්නේ? 50/51. ඒකනේ range එක හැදෙන්නේ. So like that to my first question, no one did write the correct answer. What a pity. කවුරුත්ම ලිව්වේ නෑනේ. එතකොට මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? කවුරුත්ම හරි උත්තරේ ලියුවේ නැහැ. එතකොට බිඳුව. ඒක ඩිවයිඩ් කරනවා පන්ති කාමරේ හිටපු ළමයිගේ සංඛ්‍යාවෙන්. කීයද? පන්ති කාමරේ නෙවෙයි ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තර ලියපු ළමයි. 50 දෙනෙක්. බිඳුව 50න් ඩිවයිඩ් කරු. ආන්සර් එක මොකද්ද? Again the zero. එතකොට රේන්ජ් එක හැදෙනවා 0 to 1. p value. ඒක තමයි p value කියලා අපි නිකන් කියනවා ඒකට. නමක් දාගෙන තියෙනවා. The higher the difficulty value, the easier the item. Right? Higher the difficulty value. ඒ කියන්නේ අඩු සංඛ්‍යාව කියන්නේ මේ මොකද්ද? මේ වැලි p value එක චූටි 1 0.1 2 අන්න එහෙම එනවා නම් ඒ කියන්නේ හරි උත්තර ලියපු කට්ටිය අඩු සංඛ්‍යාවක් ඉන්නේ. එතකොට question එක difficult. Hari? Right. Now let's see, we talk about with the another example. Here see the example. If 40 out of 50 students were correctly answered, I administered a test, I constructed a test paper, I gave it to the 50 students. When I correct my first answer, 40 students have written the correct answer. So, what is the p-value? We have to divide 40 by 50. 0.8. That means, what it gives the idea? What does it say to us? Relatively, this question is easy. That's why more number of students have written the answer. So, the range, the reference range like that, the optimal range is 0.3 to 0.7 for norm reference test. ඒක normal range එක. අපි අර blood test එහෙම කරාම දෙන්නේ normal range එක කියලා. ඒ වගේ 0.3 to 0.7 is normal. Below, it's not normal. Over, it's not normal. So, we can growth, these are not much important. I just put it to understand. Like this, the value we calculate. Right? Now, the second question. Second one is the item index. Item index, what is? Comparing number of students with high scores in the test who answered the item correctly, the question correctly, with the number of students with low scores on the test who answered the item correctly. Same question. We order them. What we do? We rank them. Rank all the students by their total test scores. Total test score. I gave a paper, maths paper, to the 50 students, and I ranked them from 1 to 50, who has got the highest to the lowest. Right? The same question. For the same question. Right. Then there is also a reference that they say top, typically the top of the 27. Top 27% and the bottom 27% we have to take. Right? So, U means number of students in the upper group who answered correctly. 27, upper 27, that is a range like that they have given. So, upper 27% means, එක කියන්නේ 100ටනේ 27. එතකොට 50ට කීයද? ඒක තමයි U. Then L means lower 27%. කට්ටි. ඒක යන්නේ 100 වලටනේ 27. එතකොට මගේ 50 වලට කී දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවද? ඒක අඩු කරනවා. අඩු කරලා 50 students නේ total number. ඒකෙන් divide කරනවා. Very simple. So එතකොට මෙහෙම ranges එනවා. අපේ මේ sum එකේ if we take let's say upper 27 correct take 0.67 and the lower one is 0.33, so D is 0.34. 34 කියන එක කොතනද එන්නේ? 34 D. Second one, good discrimination. Good. Right? ඒක අඩුවෙන්න ඒ කියන්නේ අර clever ones and lower ones separate කරන්නේ නැහැ කියන එක ප්‍රශ්නේ. That's why the exams would be fair. So here see 20 students take a test in my class, okay? The test is scored and the group is divided into 3. Right? Group is divided into 3. Compare the top 50 and the bottom 50. Huh? Okay? In the upper group, 50% no. The 42 students got the correct answer to a specific question. In the lower group, I mean like this 120, I divided into 3. 3 means, right? This should be 150. Sorry, this one should be 150. 50, 50, 50. Like that. Top 50, bottom 50, middle 50. Sorry, that one 120, not 120, 150. Right? Then upper group 42 has got the correct answer. Lower group 35 has got the correct answer. Then I have to divide 42 by 50 and have to take a number. Then I have to divide 35 by 50 and I have to get a number. Then I have to reduce. Then the answer is 0.14. 0.14. Right? Here see 0.14. Here 0.14 means where? 0.14. 1. Here, no? Over. So that means difference between the upper and lower group is 40%. This is positive but not a large difference. If this item is to be used in a norm reference test, only 40% more of the upper group got the item correct than the lower group. Right? So using this, we find. What we find? We compare the number of students with high scores in the test who answered the same item correctly with the number of students with low scores on the test who answered the item correctly. That is called item discrimination index. Right? Okay. Now we move to another item analysis, that is distractor analysis. What is distractor? Let's see. This is only for MCQ paper. We have in the MCQ paper, we have 4 options. We have to select the most suitable one from the 4. Sometimes in the A levels we get 5 options, 5 answers for a question, then we have to select the most suitable one for the question, the answer, right? That's one. One option, the correct, from the 4 or 5 answers, only one is the most correct one. The correct answer. That is the key answer. Other option, if we have 4 options, only one is the correct answer, that is the key answer. Other 3, we name it as distractors. Right? The correct answer, we name it as key answer. We call it as key answer. Other 3 options, we called as distractors. Right? A good distractor. Here we are talking about not the correct answer. We have a key answer. Yes. What is the purpose of MCQ? Normally in the A level, they confuse us. Normally, is this the answer A or B, A or B, A or B? We think. We know if we have 5 answers, we can the 5th one is wrong. I know. The first one also I know wrong. Okay, the third one wrong. No. 4th one is wrong. Yeah. Like that we think. And we confuse with 2 or 3. Which one is most correct? Maybe 3? No. Maybe 4, 2? No. Then we reasoning out and logically we think like that. So, a good distractor should be forcible, based on common misconception and or errors. Normally we make mistakes based on that. කොහොම හරි මෙයාම වැරදි කියන්නේ අර හරි උත්තරේ ඩිරෙක්ට්ලි හොයාගන්න බැරි විදිහට හදන්න ඕනේ කියන එකේ. කන්ෆියුස් කරලා ටිකක් හදා ගන්න ඕනේ. සාමාන්‍ය ළමයි වැරදි මිස්කන්සෙප්ෂන් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද සිංහලෙන්? වැරදි ආකල්ප නේද? ආකල්ප නෙවෙයි. මේ මොකද්ද කියන්නේ? Can you tell me? Misconception. One misconception. In පොඩි ළමයි හිතනවා අපි water මේ plant වලට වතුර දානවානේ ගස්කොළට වතුර දානකොට චූටි ළමයි හිතනවා ඒක තමයි එයාගේ food එක කියලා. එයා අපි කන බොන වගේ එයා අර වතුර බොනවා කියලා. ඒක තමයි එයාගේ food එක කියලා හිතනවා. ඒක හරිද? Scientifically හරිද? Scientifically හරිද? නෑ. ප්ලාන්ට් කියන එක නා ෆොටෝසින්තසිස් කරලා තමන්ගේ ෆුඩ් එක තමන්ම ප්‍රිපෙයාර් කරන එක නා. එයා ප්ලාන්ට් කියන එක නා. එතකොට වතුර ෆුඩ් නෙවෙයි එතන. ළමයි හිතනවා එහෙම. අන්න වැරදි විදිහට හිතා ගන්නවා. තමන්ම හිතා ගන්නවා. අපිම හිතාගන්නේ ගොඩක් දේවල්. අපිම මවාගන්නේ ගොඩක් දේවල්. අන්නේ විදිහ. ඒ වගේ දේවල් මේ ඩිස්ට්‍රැක්ෂන් ඇතුළ දාන්න ඕනෙලු. එතකොට ළමයි කන්ෆියුස් වෙන්නේ. මේකනේ ඔව් අනේ මේ වතුරනේ මේ වෝටර්නේ ෆුඩ් මේකේ හරි කියලා ඒකට උත්තරෙට ටක් ගාලා කරෙක්ෂන් මාක් කරනවා හිතන්න බලන්න නැතුව එහෙම වෙන්න බෑ කියලා තමයි කියන්නේ එතකොට here see distract analysis examine how student choose each option in an MCQ to determine whether the distractors are functioning properly, whether any distractor is misleading or inactive. It is usually done after a test using students' response data. Right? Through that, we find high achieving group and the low achieving group. Then we examine how many students in each group selected each option. Here see, this is an example. Which gas is essential for respiration? හුස්ම ගාරක් හුස්ම එක්ස්හේල් කරනවා. nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen. What is the correct answer? Here there are four options. One is the key answer, that is the oxygen. Other three are distractors. What are they? Nitrogen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen. In respiration, what are the two gases? Oxygen we take, inhale, and we exhale carbon dioxide. Right? Here, the most low, the most of the, if students correctly know, they will mark oxygen. If they confuse, respiration. Respiration means inhale and exhale. Essential. Which is essential? Right? අවශ්‍යම දේ. Oh, then some students will mark carbon dioxide. Right? If D has chosen, the most low achieving students, C, it is a good distractor. If D has chosen by almost no one has chosen hydrogen. It is non-functioning distractor and should be replaced. Right? දැක්ක ගමන් ළමයි දන්නවා. ඔන්න ඔක්සිජන් හයිඩ්‍රජන් නම් එකට ආන්සර් එකක් නෙමෙයි. අපි පැත්තකට දාමු ඒක. එහෙම හිතන්න බෑ ළමයි. හතරම ටෆ් දෙන්න ඕනේ ළමයින්ට. හයිඩ්‍රජන්ද එහෙම හිත ඇවිල් අන්තිමට ඔක්සිජන්ද කාබන් ඩයොක්සයිඩ් අන්න that's what this why the MCQ students can just mark, no, without knowing the correct answer, correct reasoning, just 1 2 3 4 like that, or whatever games students play, some games and correct mark the MCQ like that also, do you know? Sometimes there's a chance, if we give 40 questions, 40 out of 40 can be correct for our students. At the same day, there's another chance, 40 out of 40, all the questions are wrong. So then we have to give and test the answers and we have to, replace the weak ones, weak answers, we have to replace it. If it is good, we can keep it. If it is not good, sometimes we have to delete it, remove it. Sometimes we have to revise it. Right? It's the time. 40. Okay, these are the questions. Some questions I will leave it because of the time. Okay, we have one part of the lecture we have finished now. We have covered. I earlier said measurement in education. We have covered. Now we have to move to the educational objectives. Right? Objectives. So you all know educational objectives and taxonomies. Educational objectives, they are the foundation for the curriculum development. In our lesson plan, learning objectives, learning outcomes are very important. They are the foundation. When we construct an assessment or a test, then also they are the foundation. So we should understand the taxonomies of learning, designing and their experiences that address all aspects of human development. Do you understand what I'm talking? Hello? Do you understand?
Yes, madam.
Is it clear what I'm saying?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Okay, now we are going to move the other part, educational objectives. Right? The educational objective. That's a very famous saying that begin with the end in mind. When we do some activity or some whatever we plan it and we plan to achieve the end and we get ready. Like that, in every educational activity, we should have planned and we should have the end in our mind when we begin. When we do before doing a lesson, we should know, we should plan what should our students be able to do after my teaching. What should they learn? And how can I know they have learned? Like that. So, if we take a course, if this course also, the course tells us what a course about the course. Then the goal, the broad one, broad educational statement fitting the mission and description of the course. It's broad one. Then objective tell what the learner will be able to do upon successful completion of the course. Objective, they always tell us after completion the course, what will be the learner able to do? What can the learner do and what cannot the learner do? We don't plan them, what cannot they, we want to decide or plan what the learner will be able to do after my teaching. Right? The instruction, that's a course here, see. So, what a successful learner will be able to do at the end of the course. That's what you need. So normally the learning goals, they are very broad. Then the learning objective, through that we decide the desired learning outcomes. Right? Now let's see general objectives. What are general objectives? They are broad statements that describe the overall learning intentions of a course, subject, program, lessons, like that. They express what the learner is expected to do or achieve in a general sense by the end of instruction. Right? The characteristic, if we examine the characteristic, they expressed in broad, abstract terms. They cover large area of learning and long term in nature. To achieve a goal, it takes long time. Focus on overall learning outcomes. Right? Focus on overall learning outcomes, not directly observable. We can't observe directly what the students will be able to do. We can't directly observe or measure. They are general objectives. For an example, to develop a example of general objective. To develop a critical understanding of educational measurement and evaluation principles and their application in educational context. So, to develop a critical understanding, students should develop a critical understanding. In the long term, we should, within an hour, within a day, we can achieve this one. Right. Now, let's see the specific objective. You know, we write in our lesson plans and other things. Specific objectives are precise, clearly defined statement. Clearly, we have to define them. There should be no doubt and describe observable and measurable learner behaviors. We should be able to observe what my students do. I should be able to observe after teaching. I should be able to measure. That means I teach them 10 words. How many words, let's say in English, I give them 10 words for dictation. How many words they can write correctly? Measurable. 10 out of 7, 10 out of 9, like that. Observable. I should be able to observe through my sense with the student's behavior, right? Derived from general objectives. They are derived from general objective, and the specific objectives are observable and measurable, narrow and focused, short-term and task-oriented, clearly stated using action verbs. We use their action verbs, measurable and observable. That is very, very important. In order to write specific objectives, there are some rules. You may have asked about the SMART objectives. We write the rule SMART. SMART means S means specific, measurable, M means A means achievable within that time of period, achievable, realistic, it should be practicable, and timely, time bounded, right? Likewise, there's another rule, ABCD, 3 components. A means audience, that means who will perform. We have to mention, who? The student. Behavior, B. What they will do. Their action verb comes. Condition, under what circumstance students will be able to do. And degree, that means how well they will be able to do. Right? Now see the example. To develop a critical, I earlier said general objective, to develop a critical understanding of educational measurement and evaluation principles and their application in academic context. We can write several specific objectives for this. There are some here. After completion the course, right? After completion the course, time boundary. Students will be able to, what? Explain key concepts and principles of educational measurement and evaluation. students will be able to what? Analyze the strength and limitations of various assessment tools. Students should be able to construct valid and reliable test items suitable for different learning outcomes. Students should be able to evaluate assessment data using appropriate statistical techniques. Students should be able to apply evaluation principle to improve teaching and learning process. See the action verbs? If you see audience, the students, at the end of the lesson, what they will be able to do, or at the completion of the course. Now you know. When we compare these two objectives, the scope, when we consider about the scope, general objectives are broad and comprehensive, but the specific one is narrow and focused. Time frame, that is long term. This one is short term. Measurability, that one is difficult to measure. Specific objectives are directly measurable. At the same time, the language used in general objectives to write are abstract terms. But here in the specific objectives, we use action verbs. Right? Through the action, students to be able to do, show what they can do and what they can't do. Right? So, a well-known scholar, I hope you have heard about him, the Bloom's taxonomy. Right? He has for the what we say, the personality development as a whole human being, balanced personality. In order to develop a balanced personality in students or our children, we should develop their cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains. Right? This models, this taxonomy, that clarification of the objective was first done by Benjamin Bloom. So, according to him, the learning can be divided into 3 domains. What are they? Cognitive, affective, psychomotor. Cognitive means intellectual, thinking, related to knowledge. Affective, with the feeling, heart, learning, attitude, feeling. With the psychomotor, body learning, skill, actions, we use hands, legs, like that. So, in order to develop a balanced personality in a child, we should develop these 3 domains equally. Right? Cognitive, head. Affective, heart. Psychomotor, hand. So, the Mahatma Gandhi says 3H for this one. What are 3H? Head, heart, hand. What they say? Cognitive, affective, psychomotor. That means knowledge, attitude, and skills. We have to develop. So they have interconnected. We can't just say, I'm going to develop in this child the cognitive domain only. affective domain only, psychomotor domain only. We can't separate. It's the mental process happening in our brain. So they have interconnection. For the convenience of learning, we have divided like this. Okay? Then we have to equally develop for the balanced personality. That's why the new reform also says the same thing. Earlier, we mainly focused on the cognitive domain, knowledge only. So in the job market, we became a job seekers. We are not job creators. We can't create jobs. We see, that's why we seek for jobs. But the modern education, what does it say? We should create the not job seekers, but job creators. In order to create job creators, we should develop all the domains equally. So this is the cognitive domain. I mean, earlier you may have heard cognitive domain is it has divided into 6 parts, right? Knowledge, understanding, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Right? If we take the hierarchical, what the triangle or this pyramid shape tell us? It says before we understand, the understanding is in the second step. So before we understand a concept, we must remember it. First we remember it. We should remember. That's the message this give us. After that, if to apply a concept in a real context, you must first understand it. Then, to evaluate a process, you must have analyzed it. To create an accurate conclusion, you must have completed a through evaluation. By knowledge, understanding is developed by knowledge. If we want to develop or if we want to understand a concept, we should remember that concept. Like that it says. If we see the hierarchical order, each level build previous, that's why we say the understanding is built on knowledge. Application is built on understanding. Analysis is built on application. Synthesis is built on analysis, and the evaluation is built on synthesis, like that. Higher level require mastery of lower level. Here you can see the knowledge, understanding, applications are called as lower order cognitive skills. And the analysis, synthesis, and evaluations are called as higher order cognitive skills. Let's make it a short form. That means lower order cognitive skills means lots. Higher order cognitive skills means pots. We want to develop HOTS in our students. Then, in order to develop HOTS, we should develop lots. Right? Difficulty increases, move on up. Knowledge, it's very easy. We all can remember. But understanding is somewhat difficult. Can you explain it in your own words? Why you are saying like that? It's somewhat difficult. If we ask, what's the capital of the city? We can memorize it and tell whether we understood or not, we can say like that. That can be used across all the subject areas we can use. Right? Here see, this form is developed in 1956 by Benjamin Bloom. Then it was revised in 2001 by his own student, Anderson. Right? You can compare here the both the original Bloom's one and the revised Bloom's one. Knowledge has become a remember. Noun. Knowledge means noun. Here, remember means verb. Comprehension, understanding. Application, apply. Analysis, analyze. Synthesis, evaluate. Here, synthesis, create. It goes to the hierarchy level. Evaluation, evaluate. It has become to the lower. You can compare and see. Here, you can see further. This is the revised Bloom's taxonomy. Here you can identify the lots, that means lower order cognitive skills, and HOTS, that means higher order cognitive skills. Right? It's in a new curriculum. We hope, the curriculum reforms expect us to develop HOTS in our children. The former curriculum, it has what help us to only develop, not only, but more. The remembering, understanding, the lots on, we have developed lots of skills in our students, but we fail to develop the hot skills in our students. But in order to develop a balanced personality, we have to develop both the skill, HOTS and LOTS. So if we, in deeper discuss about the cognitive domain, the first one is knowledge. That means recall or recognition of specific information. We recall or recognize a specific information. And also the knowledge of specific something like, now let's say water, what the symbolic of scientific, H2O, knowledge of terminology, knowledge of trends, sequences, knowledge of criteria, knowledge of theories and structure like that. Some theories we will memorize it and say, right, we can write. Right? Action verbs. What are the action verbs are used to develop learning objective based on knowledge in order to develop knowledge. Then define. Define the term photosynthesis. List 5 wild animals. Identify. In your environment, identify monocotyledonous plants. Label. state, recall. For an example, list European capitals, define photosynthesis, name cell parts, like that. We can remember and write it. In order to assess knowledge, we can use, assessment tools like multiple choice questions, fill in the blank questions, matching questions, like that we can use. The other one is the comprehension, that is the understanding. Here we need some intellectual skills and abilities to understand and translate something and interpret it, explain something and explorate something. Grasp meaning, explain ideas, interpret information. විස්තර කරන්න. හොයන්න, සාකච්ඡා කරන්න. We need some kind of intellectual abilities. ඒක මතකෙන් විතර කරන්න බෑ. කටපාඩම් කරගෙන ගිහිල්ලා කරන්න බෑ. ඕනනම් ස්පීච් එකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන්. morning assembly එකේ. හිතලා කතා කරන්න බෑ. කටපාඩම් කරගෙන. No? Action verbs like explain. විස්තර කරන්න. Summarize. Rephrase. ඔගොල්ලන්ගේ write it in your own words. Interpret. Compare. දෙකක් compare කරන්න. පින්තූරයක් දීලා compare කරන්න. Example, explain the water cycle. Summarize article. A lengthy article has given and you have to summarize. Now AI tools can summarize. Interpret graphs. Graphs are given in English, grade 11. There's a particular question. They will give you a graph. Then the students should describe the graph. How in order the assessment, we have to use explanation questions. Right? Explain, justify your answer. Why do you say? Give reasons like that. Interpretation of the task. Why are you saying like that? Why can't you say like that? When we ask like that, we get more idea. The other one is application. Application is use learned information in new situation. Use learned information in new situation. හරි ඒ කියන්නේ අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තු දේ වෙනත් පරිසරයකදී අපි භාවිතා කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? අපේ day to day life එකේදී අපිට භාවිතා කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? Action verbs. What are the action verbs are used there? Apply, use, demonstrate, solve, calculate, compute, like that. Example, use Pythagorean theorem, apply grammar rules, solve real world problems, like that. So for the assessment, what type of questions we can give? Can we give who is, what is, like that questions? We have to problem sets. We have to give real world situation problems. In a real context, we create some problems and we have to give them. Case studies. And the demonstration, explaining something. How the water cycle happens. Students have to explain in their own words. Like that. After that, after building the application skills, students has to build analysis skills. That means analyze. What to do? Break down the material into understand the structure. We break the whole into parts. Right? We break it into small parts and we try to understand. Action verbs. Analyze. That's what. Compare. Contrast. Examine. Differentiate. Example එකක් කොහොමද? Analyze climate change causes. Nowadays happening. Climate has changed. In Sri Lanka, see what happened to Sri Lanka? What happened to the other countries? Climate has changed. Climate change has happened. So analyze climate change causes in Sri Lanka. We can ask the students to analyze them. Compare the governments. Now the comparison is if we switch on the TV or whatever, the social media or whatever, the comparisons going on between the governments. Identify bias. Bias කියන්නේ පක්ෂපාතී ඉන්න එක. ඒවා හඳුනා ගැනීම. අපිට හොඳක් කරනවා වගේ පේන පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඒක පක්ෂපාතී වෙන්න පුළුවන්. We should use our brain. So, assessment එකට අපිට දෙන්න පුළුවන්. Analytical essays. නිකන් ඔන්න ඔහේ ගසගෙන ලියන්න කියලා ලියන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. Analytical essays. Diagrams create කරන්න. ඒ වගේම critical review. දැන් පොතක් නවල් එකක් කියනකො කතන්දර පොතක් නවල් එක you read it. And critical review. Give a critical review of it. I don't know one is there who's hello? Ahimsa. Hello? Are you there? Hello? Hello? You are not there? Hello?
Yes, madam.
You are there? Are you there?
Yes, madam.
At the end, I'll give you a task. Don't. At the end, you have to critically review this lesson. Okay? Will you do?
Sure, madam.
Yeah. Let's try. Okay? Critical review. No, there should be no bias. I mean, මොකද්ද? හොඳයි කියලා කියන්න බෑ. හරියටම හරීම දේ කියන්න ඕන. වැරදි නම් වැරදි. හරි නම් හරි. හරිම අන්නේ විදිහට ඇනලයිස් කරන්න. අපි ඒ විදිහට ළමයිව හදන්න ඕනි කියලා තමයි කියන්නේ. කවුරු කරත් වැරදි තමයි. සින්තසිස් අන්තිම টপ එකට ආවා. අපි මේකට කියනවා ලස්සන කතාවක්. ශ්‍රීපාද නගිනවා කියනවා. ඔයා ශ්‍රීපාද ගිහින් තියනවද? හෙලෝ?
නෑ madam.
ඔයාගේ නම මොකද්ද? මම කොහොමද ඔයාට කතා කරන්නේ? ඔයාගේ
මගේ
නම
නම් madam
මොකද්ද? ඔව්.
ආශිංෂ.
ඔයාට නිකන් normally මොකද්ද කියන්නේ? friendsලා.
madam surname එකෙන් තමයි කතා කරන්නේ දිසානායක.
දිසානායක. ඒක චුට්ටක් ලේසි වගේ මටත්. මාත් කියන්නද එහෙම?
කමන්නේ වැඩ.
දිසානායක. දැන් අපේ ළමයි ටික අපේ එකන් යනවා මේ කොහෙද ශ්‍රීපාද නගින්න ඕනේ. හරිද? ශ්‍රීපාද නගිද්දී මුලදී අර ෆස්ට් සෙකන්ඩ් තර්ඩ් ෆෝර්ත් ස්ටෙප්ස් එහෙම හරි ලේසියෙන් අපි නගිනවානේ නේද? මිහින්තලෙත් එහෙම නේද? අපි නගින ඔක්කොම හොඳට බෑග්ස් එකම දාගෙන හරි ෂූස් එහෙම දාගෙන හරිම මේ කොත්තු අපි නගිනවා. නැගලා යද්දී මහන්සි වතුර තිබාහ නේද? යන්න අපිට අර টොප් එකට යන්න හරිම ස්ට්‍රගල් කරන්න ඕනි. අන්න ඒ වගේලු මේ ගමනත්. ඒ ලර්නින් ගමනත්. ශ්‍රීපාද නගිනවා වගේ. රිමෙම්බර් කරගන්න පුළුවන් ළමයිට ලේසියෙන්. Understanding, apply, analysis, evaluating, creating ඒකට ගෙනියනවා නම් ළමයාව ගුරුවරයාත් ඒ ස්කිල්ස් ඩිවෙලොප් කරගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ. නැත්තම් ගුරුවරයාගෙන් ඒක කරන්න බෑ. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒ හැකියාව නැත්තම් ගුරුවරයාට ඒ හැකියාව නැත්තම් ළමයාගෙන් ඒක ඩිවෙලොප් කරන්න ගුරුවරයාට බැරි වෙනවා. ඒකයි මේකට නිකන් අර ලස්සන කතාවක් කියනවා ශ්‍රීපාද නගිනවා වගේ cognitive skills. lots develop කරන්න ලේසි. hots develop කරන්න එක අමාරුයි. Okay? Like that. comprehension ආවා අපි analysis ආවා synthesis. අන්තිම part එක මෙන්න මේ තියෙනවා synthesis. creating new innovativeness innovative create දැන් අලුත් රටවල් අනිත් ජපාන් එහෙම කරන්නේ ක්‍රියේට් කරන්නේ අලුත් දේවල් නේද? create you should create synthesis combine parts from something new අර ඇනලිස් කරලා part වලට හැදුවානේ divide කරන්නේ ඒව ඔක්කොම එකතු කරලා යම් කිසි පරිපූර්ණ as a whole we develop something right create combine parts to create from something new අලුත් app එකක් හදනවා synthesize right create new design develop compose construct formulate මේ වචනවල හරි සංකීර්ණයි. For an example, design experiment. Right? Design an experiment. For what? Something. We have to be able to evaluate. Create business plan. අපිට පුළුවන් නම් අපි මෙහෙම ඉන්නේ නේද? ඒ කියන්නේ business plans අපි හදන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ create jobs වගේ. Create business plans. Compose music. ඒක හැමෝටම බෑ. හරි අමාරුයි. ඒත් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Assignments අපි ළමයින්ට මේවා develop කරන්න දෙන්න ඕන නම් we should give projects. They have to search. They have to go and search and refer and they have to study by themselves and they have to make their own thing. Research papers. Now, you will do the research. There you have to review the literature, the research articles, and you have to summarize, synthesize the points, and you have to design a methodology there. You have to select the correct sample. You have to develop correct questionnaire. And the question, if you give a question paper to students and something, your research is based on something like that, then you have to create, develop. There you have to use the synthesis, HOTS, creative works. අලුත් දේවල්. So this one need, in order to develop these skills, HOTS, we need time. We have to prepare well. We have to make the students work by themselves. In groups, we have to let the students to work in groups, share their ideas, like that. So, this is the lower order, here, lots and HOTS. It has divided. The action verbs come under each category has given here. You can recognize list, even if you search Google, you can find a lot of action verbs like that. Now we have finished. We have discussed about the cognitive domain. Now we have to discuss the second domain, affective domain. What is affective domain? It's what's attitudes, our attitudes. What are the values we give? The value I give may differ from Disanayaka. You give the value you give. Emotions. Our emotions are different. Feelings and appreciation of learners. That's why we say every individual is different. Individual difference are in the classroom. So this domain is designed, the progress from simple awareness to complete internalize of values that has designed like that. The hierarchy associated with it begins with the receiving. I'll show you the picture here. Receiving or attending. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Attending. Receiving, listening, looking, watching, right? Responding. We hear a sound. Suddenly I heard a sound. I heard a noise. Then I turned and looked back. That is responding. Right? Valuing. I give some values to That's why I told I have some principles to live my life like this. And Disanayaka, you may have values and your principles to live your life like this. Organizing, characterizing, that means we naturalize that habit. So the first, this one also, lower order cognitive skills to higher order lower skills to higher level affective skills. This domain layout, affective layout, is clearly give some ideas about this domain, that is this pyramid diagram. Here, lowest level to highest level, right? Receiving. Here we can aware of something, we feel something, right? That responding, active participation of a learner. We receive teacher is talking, teacher is explaining, doing something. So all the students are actively listening to the teacher, actively watching the teacher, actively participating in the lesson. Valuing involves recognizing experience that important to something. We feel something. Some pay, some love to learn, study. They value the education, give values to the education. There are some, they give value to the money. What can you do with your education? I can do whatever I want with my money. They say like that. That's their important. That's the way they feel it or think it. Right? Then the organizing and naturalizing. We bring it to our habit. Right? Eating healthy foods. Balanced diet. We come to know, we give value to it. I value my about health. So I bring it to my practice. I follow healthy diet. Right? It's very difficult to following a healthy diet. Which one is easy? Huh? Unhealthy diet is very easy. Following an unhealthy diet is very easy. We are very eager to follow that one. We like to eat that and this and that and like that, no. But the healthy way, eating it's very, very difficult. We have to boil and eat, isn't it? We can't tasty food like that. This is also the attitude change. Here we have to create attitude change in our students. We have to. That's what the new curriculum, again I'm saying, again and again saying, that's what the new curriculum says us. We have to create human beings, not machines. We have our own culture. We have our own values. In ancient time, we had. Why now we don't have those things? We have to again create them. We have to respect others. We have to feel others' problems. We have to take the good from the society and follow. We should not criticize the others. If we don't like, we have to be silent. Like the qualities, soft skills, we have to develop through the affective domain. So we have to create, right, our learning objectives with, to develop affective skills. So, receiving, responding, valuing, organizing, characterizing. What does it? Paying close attention to a friend. Receiving. When a friend talks with us, we listen carefully. But when a teacher is teach, we don't care. Paying close attention to someone, remembering their names. Joining in a group conversation. Second one, responding. Having a conversation or taking part in a group discussion. Like that. Suggesting a way to improve teamwork. Modern students often prioritize career goals over leisure activities nowadays. The students have the career goals, plans they have. So, characterization work independently and relies on their abilities. I should identify my abilities and I should depend on my abilities. Work well with others and contribute to group effort. Let work, teamwork, skills, communication skills, those things we can say. So this is again the same thing. Stimuli and the selectively attend to stimuli. Receiving selectively attend to stimuli. Responding means respond to stimuli. Valuing means attaches value or worth to something. When we feel it as worth, we try to follow it like that. So this the third column, the important, the verb, the action verb should be used to create so write the learning objectives are given here, and even in the assessment, when we assess the students, we can write these terms to make the questions, right? Agree or not agree. We can give a statement there and ask the students, do you agree with this? And no, not. Explain. Add up, adjust, arrange, balance, classify, like that. Organizing. The other, we have discussed now 2 domains, and now we have to move to the last domain, that is the psychomotor domain. It's very, very important. That's what we, according to the researchers, the Asians have skills in lot of fields like that, the researchers say, because of our education system. So psychomotor domain address physical skills, coordination and motor skills. Unlike the cognitive domain, which has one widely accepted taxonomy, if we say the cognitive domain, we have only one taxonomy, the revised and old one and the revised one, Bloom's. But if we take the psychomotor domain, there are a lot of clarification. So among them, 3 are main. One is Simpson's psychomotor taxonomy. That is, the Simpsons in 1972. He talking about the physical movements, coordination, and use of motor skill areas. Perception, he say, set, guide response, mechanism, complex over response, adaptation, organization. 7 steps. Perception, set is developed on, build on perception. Right? Let's see. The development of these skills require practice, and this measures in terms of speed, skills, dancing, singing, driving, drawing, like that. We measure in terms of speed, running, precious, distance, procedures, or techniques in the execution. Psychomotor skill range from manual tasks such as digging, ditch, washing a car, more complex tasks such as operating a complex piece of machinery or dancing. Right? Dancing, reality shows, dancings, we can see their improvement throughout the program. And singing, we can observe their improvement throughout the performance in the programs. Right? So it takes time. And sometimes we measure them by the speed, running speed, the competitions we do. So there we use the keywords like that. Perception means awareness. That means recognize, distinguish, notice, touch, hear, feel. Those active verbs we can use to write the learning objectives or make questions. And the set means readiness. Whatever we want to do, we should ready. I mean, in order to learning also, we should get ready. If we are hungry, we can't learn. If we are thirsty, we can't learn. If we are sick, we can't learn. We can't study. I mean, properly we can't concentrate. If we are angry, even we can't especially pay attention to the work. Like that. We should, if it is a dark area in the room, we can't, the physical environment should be comfortable for us to learn, children to learn. Get ready. Readiness should there. That means the mental readiness and the physical. If something mentally, the child has a problem, if the child has a problem at home, at school, the child can't study. He always remember what happened in the last time. So mentally, physically, we should be able to be alive in the classroom. So the active verbs such as arrange, prepare, get set can be used. Third one, guided response mean attempt. That means we try. Imitate. When the teacher dance, the students follow her steps and dance. Copy, follow, try to do something. Mechanism. Mechanism means basic proficiency. Make. The student follow the step of the teacher and try to dance. She can now dance alone, right? And the complex over responses, that mean expert. We become expert without teacher guidance. The student can perform her dance in the stage. Adaptation. We have to get used to that. Adapt, adjust, integrate, solve. So the child try to create her own steps in dancing, ways in dancing. Organization, the last one. Develop and design. This child is able to design a new choreographic, formulate a new formula, or redesign a song, the dance for a song. Like that, a child can work by her or himself. We have to bring the child to that path. So it is very difficult, but we have to try. That's why we said try and climbing. What? Sripada is not easy, but we should climb. That's our target. Adaptation. And this one I have told you, organization. This also, again, there are, if you Google, as I said, you can find lot of active verbs. That is Simpsons. Now, Dave's taxonomy. He's talking about skill, mastery, and automation. Right? He has 5 levels. In the pyramid shape, he has defined, classified 5 levels. From imitation to naturalization. Imitation means observation. But imitate means what? we do as the small kids see. They look at us and do. As the way we talk, they listen and speak. As the way we walk, they observe and do like that. Imitate, manipulate, prescience, articulate, naturalization. It's very easy. No, imitation is very easy. We talk students imitate like us in the classroom. Copy actions of another. Observe and replicate. Imitation means. Watch teacher or train and repeat action, process or activity. Copy, follow, active words, keywords we can use. Copywriting. We give, follow the instructions. Replicate, repeat this action like that. Manipulate means reproduce activity from instruction or memory. That means carry out a task from written or verbal instruction. Student follow as teacher do the dancing. Now the teacher is not dancing. She gives the instruction to the students. Then the students dance. Recreate, build, perform, execute, implement, like that, the words. Then appreciation. That means execute skill reliably, independent of help. Independently, students try to do that, as I said. Perform a task actively with expertise and to high quality without assistant or instruction. Without the teacher, the student dance. Without the teacher, students can sing. Without the teacher's help, students can perform a drama. Like that. Then articulation means adapt. We adapt some, relate and combine associated activities to develop methods to meet, verify. We form, construct, recreate our own ways. Naturalization means define, aim, again. Design. We design a new but home design. We manage, invent new cooking patterns, project manage, invent new ways. So that is does. Now we move to Harrow's psychomotor domain. In this physical fitness, he's talking about the physical fitness, dexterity, agility, and body control to achieve a higher level of expertise. Right? It also begins with reflexes movement and progress to complex, highly expressive movements that require coordination and precisions. Like the reflect movement, basic fundamental movement, perceptual, physical activities, skill movements, non-discursive communications, like that. Here, category, that means the first one, reflex moment means involuntary reactions. That means example is respond physically, instinctively. when we hear a song, we try to do what? Dance. So, basic fundamental moments, basic simple moments. After position, alter positions, move, perform simple actions like that. Right? The active verbs are grasp, walk, stand, throw, like that. Third one is perceptual abilities, basic responses. Use than one ability in response to different sensory perceptions. I mean, he can coordinate with the legs movements, hand movements, like that. Physical abilities, fitness to develop strength, control his muscles development like that, maintain, repeat, increase, improve. The action verbs can be used to construct objectives. Skilled movement means complex preparation, that means execute and adapt advanced integrated movements. If we take dancing on they develop drive, the driving, build, play a musical instrument, craft, like that. Non-destructive communication means actively express meaningful interpretations. They can now actively express their body movements and like that. This is also body postures, gestures, and facial expression efficiency executed in skilled dance moments like that. See, the foreigners, when they speak, their facial expression, they speak through facial expression rather than the words. They use limited words, express more. Like that. So, when we compare these three domains, that means the cognitive domain, the psychomotor domain, we discuss about the Simpson-Harrow. The first one has 5 levels, the second one has 7 levels, and the third one has 6 levels. The first one focused skill development, the second one focused perception and cognition development, and the third one focuses physical moments. If we consider about the usage, the first one is most commonly used one, and the second one is used in technical trainings, and the third one is used in physical education. Their application side, if we think, the first one can be applied in education. We follow to apply. And the second one is applied in vocational skills development. And the third one is used to support sports, dance, like that. Physical education, like that. So the education one is this one. Imitation, manipulation, this one. Naturalization, right? That one we use. But there are 16 level framework like that in the syllabus. That means psychomotor domain, the most common psychomotor domains we discussed here. There are some other, uh, additional terms such as automation, internalization, representation, extension, like that also used here. In the syllabus. But it is recommended to use the established scholarly taxonomies, that is the particularly Dave one is internationally recognized in writing objectives for the educational purpose among the three. So we also follow the same thing in our country also. That is the third one. The Dave one is most popularly used in education field. So, Disanayaka, are you there?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Now, can you differentiate between the general objectives and specific objectives in education? What is general objective? The third one, can you answer the third question? You don't need to describe, but you tell the, levels of cognitive domain. What is the first one? Cognitive domain. Shripad, I told you. What is the base one? Can't you remember? මොකක්ද ඒකේ? මේකේ මොකක්ද?
Remembering,
හරි. Remembering නේද? ඊට පස්සේ මොකක්ද?
understanding,
ආ
applying,
ආ
analyzing,
ආ
evaluating.
ආ
Last one is creating.
creating. එතකොට අපි lots කියලා ඒ කියන්නේ lower order cognitive lower order thinking skills කියන්නේ මොනවටද? මෙතනදී
Remembering,
remember.
understanding,
තව එකක් තියෙනවා.
applying,
apply. එතකොට higher order thinking skills කියන්නේ
analyzing, evaluating, creating.
ඒවට තමයි අපි කියන්නේ නේද? එතකොට අපි ළමයින්ගේ ඩිවෙලොප් කරන්න ඕනේ දේ. කෝකද ලේසිම දේ? කෝකද උගන්වන්නේ හෝ මොකක් හරි කරන එක ලේසි වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? අපි කියමු ලර්නින් ඔබ්ජෙක්ටිව් එකක් ලියනවා කියලා. lots වලින් ලියන එකද ලේසි? hots වලින් ලියන එකද?
Lots වලින්
lots වලින් ලියන එක ලේසි නේද? උගන්වන්නද්දි lots ඒවා ටාගට් කරගෙන උගන්වනවා කියන එක ලේසි. හැබැයි hots පැත්තට යනවා නම් teacher creative වෙන්න ඕනේ. ළමයාත් creative වෙන්න ඕනේ. දැන් new reforms එකෙන් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? ඔයා ගියා කිව්වා නේද?
ඔව් ඒකේ මැඩම් අර හොට්ස්
ඒකේ
වලින්
මොකද්ද
තමයි
කිව්වේ?
ගොඩක්ම ඒකේ
හොට්ස් පැත්තට
අපිට
නේද?
කියන්න නම් මේ
ආ
ඔව්
කොහොම හරි ශ්‍රීපාද
ළමයාගේ
නගින්න
පුළුවන්
ඕනේ
තරම් අර
කිව්වා.
ඔව්
දැන් නේද? ඒක ළමයෙක් පඩි දෙකක් තුනක් නැග්ගට පස්සේ කියයි මට වතුර තිබායි කියලා. ඒ ළමයට අපි මොකක්ද දෙන්න ඕනේ එතනදී? වතුර දෙන්න ඕනේ නේද? තව
ඔව්
ළමයෙක්
මැඩම්
කියයි පඩි පෙළි 10ක් නැගලා මට බඩගිනි කියලා. ඉතින් අපි එයාට මොකක් හරි කන්න දෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම නැතුව මං ළමයි 20ක් අරගෙන ශ්‍රීපාද නගින්න ගිහිල්ලා කෙලින්ම නගිනවා ළමයි මගේ මාත් එක්ක එනවද නැද්ද කිසිම දෙයක් බලන්නේ නැතුව මං විතරක් ශ්‍රීපාද උඩ නැගලා පිටිපස්සට හැරිලා බලනකොට එක ළමයෙක් පඩිපෙළි එකේ ඉන්නවා අනිත් එකනා 10 ඉන්නවා අනිත් එකනා පල්ලෙහාම ඉන්නවා. එහෙම එක එක ළමයි එක එක තැන්වල ඉඳී නේද? එතකොට අපි මොකද්ද කරන්න ඕනේ? අපි හැමෝම ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ අවශ්‍යතාවය හඳුනාගෙන ඒගොල්ලන්ට අවශ්‍ය දේට ෆීඩ්බැක් එකක් දීලා ඒගොල්ලන්ට අවශ්‍ය දේ يعني ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ඩිෆිකල්ටිස් වලට අපි ඕවර්කම් කරන්න හෙල්ප් කරගෙන අපි හැමෝම as a team we have to climb the මොකද්ද ශ්‍රීපාද නේද? එහෙමද?
yes මැඩම්
ලේසි නෑ නේද? හරි. කියන්නකෝ ඔයාට මම ටාස්ක් එකක් දුන්නානේ ඉස්සර. අද මුල් ෆස්ට් ලෙසන් එකනේ දිසානායක. මං කිව්වා නේද ඔයාට ටාස්ක් එකක් ඉස්සර.
ඔව් මැඩම් රිවිව් එකක්
දැන් කියමු බලන්න.
මට නම් මැඩම් ලෙසන් එක හොඳයි ඒ
ආ
කියන්නේ අර soft and smooth තමයි මම ගොඩක්ම කැමති.
ආ
එතකොට අර ප්‍රෙෂර් එකක් දැනෙන්නේ නැහනේ ඔලුවට හොඳට
ඔව්
යනවා.
ආ
විෂුවල් රිප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එහෙම හොඳයි.
ආ
අර අයිඩියා එක කෙලින්ම ගන්න පුළුවන් අර කතා මැඩම් ඩිස්කස් කරපු අපිත් එක්ක ඩිස්කස් කරපු දේවල් අර
ආ
හොඳට ඔලුවට යන්න ඒ ග්‍රැෆිකල්
ආ
රිප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එක වුණා.
ආ
කන්ටෙන්ට් එකත් අද සරලයි හොඳයි.
ආ හොඳයි.
ඔව්
මේ තේරුම් නැති මේ අනිත් පැත්ත මේ පොසිටිව් නේ කිව්වේ.
ඔව්
ඩිවලොප් කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා හිතන දේවල් ලෙසන් එකේ.
මට නම් මැඩම් අර ඒක ලොකුවට දැනෙන්නේ නැහැ. අර
ආ
අපේ ඉන්න සිංහල මීඩියම් කරන කට්ටිය
ආ
මේ එතකොට චුට්ටක් අර එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරනකොට අර සිංහල මීඩියම් පැත්තෙන් යන්න තිබ්බනම් හොඳයි. ඒ කියන්නේ දෙක
ආ
මික්ස්ව
ආහා
මේ කලින් ලෙක්චර්ස් උත් යන්නේ අර මේ ඉංග්‍රීසි අමාරු කට්ටියක් ඉන්නවා.
එහෙමද?
එයාලටත් එක්ක අර
ආ
ඔව් ඒ කියන්නේ
ආ
එයාලට තේරුම් ගන්න පොඩ්ඩක් අර මික්ස් කරලා කරපුවාම අපිට ලේසි තේරුම් ගන්න.
ආහා හා හා හරි හරි හරි.
ඔව්
ඊළඟ එක එහෙම කරමු නේද එහෙනම්?
ඔව් මේ කියන්නේ
වෙන?
මම හිතන්නේ මැඩම් වෙන නම්
ආ
නෑ මැඩම්. ඉතින් ලෙසන් එක හොඳට ගියා.
ආහා
මැඩම් පුළුවන් පොඩි
මේ
රික්වෙස්ට් එකක් තියෙනවා මේ අර අපිට ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එක මේ දාගන්න පුළුවන් අර ෆර්දර් ස්ටඩීස් වලට අපිට පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්.
ආහා ඒක කොහොමද කරන්නේ?
ඒක මේ කලින් නම් කරේ මේ ඒ
ආ
ලෙක්චරර්ස්ලා මැඩම් දෙනවා අර මේ අපේ අර ඉන්ෆෝටෙක් එකේ ඇකඩමික් එකට. එයාලා මං හිතන්නේ ඒක ආපහු අප්ලෝඩ් කරන්නේ. ඒ අපේ Google
ආහා
Classroom එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒකට
ආහා
තමයි ලෙක්චර් නෝට්ස් ඔක්කොම යන්නේ.
අර මේක අර මොකද්ද දාලා මම ෆස්ට් නේ මේ අදනේ මම ෆස්ට් ටයිම් කරන්නේ.
ඔව්
එතකොට
ඔව්
මොකද්ද මට අර මෙසේජ් එකක් අර ගෲප් එකේ දාලා මට දැන් තමයි මතක් වෙන්නේ මැටීරියල්ස් ලර්නින් මැටීරියල්ස් කියලා.
ඔව් මැඩම්.
එතකොට ඒ නම්බර් එකට මම මේවා තව උනත් කියවන්න පුළුවන් දේවල් දාන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙමද?
ඔව් මැඩම්. මේ කියන්නේ කලින්
ආ
ලෙක්චරර්ස්ලාත් එහෙම අපි අර
ආ
මේ ගිය සෙමස්ටර් එකෙත් ලෙක්චර් කෙනෙක් අපි කියලා ඉවරලා රිසර්ච් ලෙක්චර් එකේ මැඩම් එහෙම
ආ
මේ අපිට ගොඩාක් පොත් එහෙම මේ දුන්නා කියවන්න කියලා PDFs. එයා ඒක එවලා
ආහා
තිබුණා.
ආහා
ඇකඩමික් අංශයේ අර කවුද අපේ මිස් කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා මට සඳමාලි මිස් මං හිතුවා. සඳමාලි හරි ඉන්න මිස් කෙනෙක්.
ආහා
එයා තමයි ඇකඩමික් එකේ හෙඩ්.
ආ
මේ ඒක ලෙක්චර් කොහොම එව්වද දන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි එයා තමයි ඇකඩමික් එකේ එයා පොඩ්ඩක් කන්ටැක්ට් කරොත් මැඩම් මේ එයා කියනවා කොහොමද කියන්නේ එවන්
මම
එවන විදිය
මං
කියනවා.
ගාව තියෙන නම්බර එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක මට මේ ආපු එකක් මෙසේජ් එකක්. ඒක ඒ
ඔව්.
නම්බර එකට කතා කරලා මම අර ඊමේල් එක මොකද්ද දීලා තිබුණා ඒගොල්ලෝ.
ආ
මැටීරියල්
මැඩම්
අප්ලෝඩ්
ඕනම් මේ අපේ රිසර්ච් ගෲප් එකේ ඒ මිස් ඉන්නවා. මැඩම්ට මං නම්බර් එක එවන්නද එයාගේ? සඳමාලි. සඳමාලි
මට
කියලා මිස්.
හරි. තියෙනවද දැන්?
ඔව් මැඩම් ඉන්න මම chat box එකට දාන්නම්.
ආහා. ඉන්න ෆොටෝ එකක් ගන්න. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේකේ ළමයි එහෙම අඩුයිද පාටිසිපේට් කරනවා?
ඔව් මැඩම් මේ කියන්නේ මේ මම පුළුවන් තරම් එනවා.
ආ
මේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට එයාලගේ ෂෙඩියුල්ස් එක බිසි වෙලා ඉන්නේ. එහෙම වුණාම
ආහා
එයාලා මේ අනිවාර්යෙන් රෙකෝඩින් දාපු ගමන් බලනවා.
ආහා
මේ
හරි
ඔව් ඒ කියන්නේ මැඩම් මේ ළමයි 8යිනේ අපි ඉන්නේ. ඒකෙත් අර
ඔව්
මේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මම ඉන්නවා.
ආ
නැත්නම් අර අපේ කවුද කලින් ආපු මිස්
ඔව්
කෙනෙක් හිටියා. එයා අතුල සර් එහෙම මේ එනවා.
ආ
මේ අර ගොඩක්ම ෂුවර් කරන්න අමාරුයි. එයාලගේ අර ලයිෆ් ස්ටයිල් එක පොඩ්ඩක් එයාලා මේ වීකෙන්ඩ් එකේ අර අපි දවස් පහම වැඩ කරලා අර වීකෙන්ඩ් එකේනේ ෆ්‍රී වෙන්නේ. එතකොට එයාලා අනිවාර්යෙන්ම මේ ලෙක්චර් රෙකෝඩින් එක බලනවා.
හරි. ඒ හින්දා අපි කරන්න ඕනේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට අර ලෙක්චර් නෝට් එක මේ කියන්නේ රෙකෝඩින් එක අහලා තේරුම් ගන්න විදිහට තමයි අපි කරන්න ඕනේ.
ඔව් මැඩම්.
හරි. ඒකත් හොඳයි. මේ දැනගත් එක. වෙන මොකද්ද සජෙෂන් ඔයාගේ තියෙන්නේ?
ඒ ටික තමයි මැඩම් මේ මැඩම්ට කැට් එක්සෑම් එක ගැනම කියලාත් දන්නේ අර අපිට අර ඇසෙස්මන්ට් දෙනවා එකක් කැට් එක්සෑම් කියලා. ඒක නම් යුනිවර්සිටි එකෙන් ඕගනයිස් කරනවා. මැඩම් එක කතා කරා ඒක. මේ ඒ කියන්නේ අර MCQ වගේක් දෙනවා අපිට ඔන්ලයින් ලෙවලෙම කරන්න ඕනේ සෙෂන් එක.
කීයක්ද?
MCQ මං හිතන්නේ මැඩම් 20ක් දෙනවා එතන. කාලය ලෙක්චර් සෙෂන් එකක් මුලින් පැය 3යිනේ. ඒකෙන් මං හිතන්නේ මැඩම් පැය 2ක් විතර කරනවා අපිට. පැයක් තමයි දෙන්නේ ඇසෙස්මන්ට් එකට. පැයක් හෝ ඊට අඩු කාලයක්. ඊට අමතරව තව තියෙනවා මේ රිටන් එකක්. මේ ඇසයින්මන්ට් එකක්. ඒකත් සති 2ක් දෙනවා මේ කරලා සබ්මිට් කරන්න. මැඩම් මේ ෆස්ට් ටයිම්ද?
ඔව් මම මේ ෆස්ට් ටයිම්. මට ඒ ගැන එහෙම විස්තර කියලා තිබුණා. මේ ඒ වුණාට මට අර ෆස්ට් ටයිම්නේ චුට්ටක් අර ඒකයි කිව්ව එක හොඳයි. එහෙම එතකොට අපි දෙකක් කරන්න ඕනේ. අන්තිම එක තමයි ෆයිනල් එක කරන්නේ නේද අපි?
ඔව් අර එක්සෑම් එක තියෙන අන්තිමේට.
හරි. ඉතින් ඔයගලන්ට මේකෙන් ඔයගලන් යමක් ගන්න එපා නේද? තේරුම් අරගෙන ලස්සන්ට කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒකයි මම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. ළමයි හොඳට ඉගෙනගෙන වැඩි දුරට එන්න ඕනේ නේද? එහෙම කියලා. ඉතින් අපි හැමෝම හම්බෙන්න පුළුවන් දවසක් ආවනම් ගොඩාක් සතුටුයි.
අපේ හාමුදුරුවෝ ඉන්නවා මේ. උන්වහන්සේ දැන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මුල ටිකේ ආවා පස්සේ චුට්ටක් අර ඇක්ටිව් ඉන්නවා ගෲප් එකේම. අපි අර වෙනම ගෲප් එකක්
ඔක්කොමලා ගෲප් එකේ ඇක්ටිව්ලි ඉන්නවා නේද? ඒක හොඳයි.
ඒ කියන්නේ ලෙක්චර් යන ඒවා එහෙම ඇසයින්මන්ට් එහෙම ඔක්කොම
මේ නිකන් ඩිස්කෂන් වගේ දා ගන්නවද?
අපි පර්සනලි අඳුරන්නේ නැහැ මැඩම්. බට් අර මැසේජස් දාලා ඒ ෆැමිලිය ගතිය තියෙනවා ඉතින්.
ඒක හොඳයි. සමහර දේවල් ඒ කියන්නේ කතා බහ කරගන්න පුළුවන් නේ.
ඒ කියන්නේ අර අපි අර ලෙක්චර් වල හම්බුනේ නැති උනට මැඩම් ඇක්ටිව්ලි යනවා ගෲප් එක.
එහෙනම් හොඳයි.
ඒ කියන්නේ ඩිස්කෂන් එහෙම කරනවා ඒකේ.
good එහෙමනම්. හරි එතකොට අපිට දැන් ලබන සැටර්ඩේ තියෙයිද? එහෙමද නැත්නම් කොහොමද සාමාන්‍ය ඔයගලන්ට?
මැඩම් සති 6ක් එක දිගට යනවා ලෙක්චර්ස්.
එහෙමද? ඒක දැනගත්ත එක හොඳයි. එතකොට මටත් රෙඩි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. දිගටම
ඔව්
යනවා නේද? ඒ කියන්නේ ලබන සතියෙත් තියෙනවා සෙනසුරාදා.
ඔව් මැඩම්. ඒ කියන්නේ හැමදාම මේ උදේ වරුවට මැඩම්ගේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක අපිට තියෙනවා.
හරි.
සති 6ක් යනකම්. 6ක් හරි 7ක් හරි ඊට පස්සේ
හරි.
එක්සැමිනේෂන් එක.
හරි. එහෙනම් ඒ විදිහට කරමු අපි. මම කතා කරලා මේවා කරන්න.
ඕකේ
හරිද?
මැඩම්.
ඕකේ. වෙන මොන හරි තියෙනවද දැන්?
නෑ මැඩම් මේ වර්ක් කරන්න කොහෙද?
මම අනුරාධපුර.
මේ මැඩම් මේ කැම්පස් එකේ දර ගන්නේ?
කැම්පස් එකේ මම මේ විසිටින් කරනවා මේකේ.